Welcome back. Let's talk about tracking and how important it is to tie tracking into your training program. Like for instance, we go over, we track every customer that we got approved, whether it's at the outside bank or internally in buy here, pay here, and what happened to them. Of course, you know, other videos we talk about BDC, tracking how many leads, how many were appointments, how many showed, and how many delivered, and so forth. But right now we're just talking about of the ones that you said yes, not your turn downs. You said yes, but the customer for whatever reason said no. And finding out what specifically to isolate the objection, practice those skills that we have in our online training videos with TDT. For instance, if the customer says they want to think it over. Oh, did you want to think over? You know, was it the car that you weren't sure about? Was it maybe the mileage? Was it, or the financial terms? You know, maybe it was the price or something else. Or was it me? And the customer is going to tell you what the real reason is if they had said, I just want to go home and think it over or talk to a friend or whatever. You can't overcome I want to think it over because it's not even a real objection. You have to isolate what is it specifically they want to think over. Or when they go talk to a friend, is it the budget that they are concerned with? Because obviously we wouldn't present any financial terms that the customer couldn't afford because the only person that cares more about their budget is the finance company. So that way when you present the financial terms, you should be eliminating in your presentation that they can afford the payments, no matter what they are, even if it's $300 bi-weekly. They can afford it, otherwise it wouldn't be presented. Now, I'm not saying that the customer isn't gonna be uncomfortable and it wasn't what they expected. They wanted $300 or $275 monthly and they're getting $275 bi-weekly. But again, that's our program. They don't have to take advantage of it, but at least they can afford it. But back to isolating what the real concern is, the objection for them moving forward when corporate approved them. Here's the financial terms on the car that they can afford. And obviously 95% of the time it's not the dream car, but they have a transportation solution they didn't have when they came to your location. So I find out and track what the isolated objection is and then practice that and how to overcome it. Watch the video or, as far as go back over, read your training books that we provide for our dealers and make sure that you practice that daily because you're probably only going to come up with 4 or 5 different objections that your team is getting on a regular basis. Whether it's, the mileage is too high, I understand, obviously all of our vehicles been through a multi-point inspection with the car doctors, master technicians, and they tell us that you can't judge a vehicle by its mileage. It's just like a person. You can't say just because somebody's 25 years old, they're healthy based on their license, date of birth, because that person may not have taken care of themselves, especially the last 5 or 6 years. They could be on a verge of a heart attack. Whereas you could have a 60-year-old person who's been doing triathlons and is in the best health, probably better health than the 25-year-old. No different than a car. How a car has been treated and maintained will determine whether or not the health of that car is a good vehicle that's going to last 3 years or the term of the loan. You can't judge that based on the miles. So again, you obviously want to make sure that you overcome that objection with the customer if it was based on miles or color or equipment, or it could be the price, the markup over Kelley Blue Book retail, or the interest rate, or whatever it is. When you have our training materials with Total Dealer Training, you have every answer to every objection a customer is ever going to give you. But it's important not just to have the book, but also and have the videos, online videos that are 24/7 available to your team, but you got to practice it perfectly every single day. But you have to make sure you track as a management team to know exactly which technique or which objections they need to practice. And just have fun with it. So number 1 is tracking what the real objection is, isolate what it is, put it in your DMS and CRM so you know what to actually pull out and practice from the online training videos and your workbook that comes with it. And then that way you can close more customers, even if you pick up 1 or 2 a month. It's going to make a huge difference, and it's a minor investment, the training, for what you'll get out of it in your team. Plus it gives them, it's like having extra guns or knives if you go into those online shooting games. It's just another weapon, another tool for them to close more customers when we want to approve them and we want to deliver them. So practice this and or give me a call anytime, or just click below, email me, and I'll work one-on-one with you and your team. If you like the video, share it, click below, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.